You must stay at home.
Must stay at home. Stay at home. Stay at home.
Well, hello guys, it's obviously Jay from the 0161 again. Tonight, we're doing something slightly different. Normally we're sat here with a band, but tonight we are joined by tanking clubs, and there's something I will say in a minute. It is Mr. Mike Tait. Mike, thank you for joining us in the 0161 chat, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me in. Something different for me as well. So
thank you, mate. No, really appreciate it. The first thing I have to ask is, on the poster, it's tanking, not a festival. Now, when I looked at your lineup, I automatically said festival. It's a festival because it's festival. But for some reason, you're not classing it as a festival. So can you explain why?
Well, when we started down this path, I'm involved with a couple of festivals. And, if you imagine the festival scene, it's just like a big pizza.
Yeah.
For every new festival that comes in, they're just taking another slice of the pizza.
Right.
And you've got your big heavy hitters like your Bloodstocks and your Downloads and your Damnations, those sort of things, So for every new festival, you're just fighting over a smaller piece of the pizza. And myself and the partners in the tanking decided we would do something different.
Okay.
So we never meant to go public. The idea was that we would have a core, kind of like the 0161 community, and we'd do something just for us.
Yeah.
And then it became a membership club. Now, what we found out, without giving away too many secrets, is if you are operating as a club and not a festival, there's some red tape and bureaucracy you can get around.
Okay.
So there's, in terms of how you manage, how you approach your local authorities, how you work with safety action groups, there's a couple of caveats in there which gives you a bit more flexibility, which means we can be a bit more agile.
Yeah.
Without having to go through the standard festival format.
Right.
So we consider ourselves a club. Anybody can join. And then the idea is we would run 3-4 events through the year, specifically for club members. And then every year we would do just one event, which would be a bit more open to the public and the fans of the bands who are attending. So it's kind of like a members club. It's not exclusive, but it does allow us to do things slightly different from a regular festival.
Yeah. Brilliant. So yeah, on the like I said, the membership. Do you, at the end or near the end, when it's coming to when the festival, well, when the not festival starts, do you release tickets to the general public so anyone can?
Yeah, the general way it works is we've already got a good flavour of what the lineup is. We have a private Facebook page of which anybody can find us, anybody can apply to join.
Yeah.
We have a public page. And within the public page, you can apply for membership. At the moment, it's only £10 for the full year.
Yeah.
And that automatically fast tracks you through to any of our events.
Okay.
So even if you wanted to come in at the last minute, we always bias the ticket sales to our members because, it's a tenner and we want to show some loyalty there and build up a head of steam.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'll get a band like Acid Rain will come to you and say, we want to bring 200 fans. And you're like, whoa, yeah, hang on. So that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure we had a core membership who we could pick and choose with the billing and the roster.
Yeah.
And then we also wanted to make sure that we had about 40 to 50% headspace on the allocation.
Okay.
But we wanted to make sure that fans could come in as a one-off and didn't have to get involved with the membership, and they just want to come and see Ricky Warwick, or they just want to come and see Steel Mage, and they just want to drop in for a tape. So, we try and keep headspace, but the idea is, years and years of working with the public and working behind the scenes, we wanted to try and keep it like a family, much like the 0161.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we wanted to have a bit of buying power that we could get the bands that we wanted to buy in as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's a balance. It's a balance, mate. If you think about it like 60-40, we would like 60% membership, 40% headspace.
Brilliant. Just give us a little bit of history about yourself, about how long you've been in the business and what made you get into it.
Obviously, I mean, you'll hear the accent. I'm originally from Edinburgh.
Well, something I was born in Fife, so it's good to actually speak. Cool. I was born in Kirkcaldy, so it's good to speak to a fellow Jock. Yeah.
For anybody who's listening to this, Kirkcaldy does the best fish and chips I have ever had anywhere in the world.
Does it really?
And that's an absolute fact.
I haven't been back for ages. So
well, there you go. If you want a good fish supper, you need to go to Kirkcaldy. So yeah, I'm originally from Edinburgh. About half of my life I've spent in England.
Yeah.
My wife's English, my children are English. We now live in the northeast of England. So to give you an idea where we are, if you know the A1, we're not far from Scott Corner, Darlington, Durham, about 30 miles south of Newcastle, 30, 40 miles then north of Leeds. We're kind of in that part of the northeast.
Yeah.
Christ, man, I've been going to gigs for about 35 years. So I was really lucky. I got to see the end of glam, pick up the beginning of thrash, see the evolution of grind.
Yeah.
So I've been really lucky in my life that I've got to actually go out and see bands, all of these genres, which people take for granted now. But for me, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Really scary to go see some of these bands. You know, you were absolutely terrified to go to the venues.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not shy to a guitar, but I've never, ever wanted to be a rock star. I've always been interested in what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I started off lifting cases, lifting 4x12s, doing a bit of DJing. As a younger guy, I had pen friends in America. We used to do a lot of tape trading, which is now taken for granted.
Yeah.
So I always had a good record collection. So I used to do a lot of DJing on club nights and stuff like that. And then through the festival scene over the years, you just meet people.
Yeah.
Right place, have a beer, just be nice to people. And a lot of people miss that. You just got to be you don't know who the next person you're talking to. So just being polite, being nice. And eventually you hook into a network of people who are really connected.
Yeah.
And the two I'll shout out is Phil and Carrie. Now, to the 0161, you might not know these names, but to me, these are the guys who really gave me a shot in the arm and said, hey, you know what, Mike? We could do with a good pair of hands. These are, people who have been connected and quite instrumental in setting up fan forums, involved with the Damnation Festival. They're the people, the unsung heroes.
Yeah.
So big up to Phil and Carrie. I promised I wouldn't do too many shout outs tonight, but that's those two I will shout out.
Yeah, sorry.
And they sort of give me a leg in. But now, I sort of help out at Damnation with the crew. We've got a really tight crew at the Damnation Festival. That's my main festival that I work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then from there, a couple of us decided that we were not going to go through the summer last year without any music. And we just said, right, okay, we can do something for ourselves, and we started to branch out and do the tanking.
Yeah. And what's your role at Damnation?
Yeah, my role is we look after the crew. So we are the load in, load out. We're the guys who are doing 20-hour days. And we've had some great laughs. I've been in a lift with Gorgoroth and Gal, who's like 2 foot taller than me, and weird shit like that, But we manage the crew. So, we're the guys who are in early, moving all the cabs, helping out the stage managers, and it's an amazing team at Damnation. I'm so, proud and privileged to be part of that team. They're a well-oiled machine.
Well, it's something I haven't personally been to, but I keep seeing the lineups every year, and the lineups amazing. Every single year that you look at the bands, you think, Christ. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know
it's kind of weird. It's
sorry, mate. Go on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, mate,
it's kind of weird. It's a big festival feeling in an indoor space.
Yeah,
it's just such a nice vibe.
Yeah,
dare I say it? There's no arseholes.
Yeah,
people are there for the music, and they're so passionate about it. It's just a nice vibe. But the crew, the stage managers, the organisers, the whole machine, it's a super vibe. I mean, I'm not just saying it because I'm sort of there. I would say to anybody, if you really want to get a good festival vibe and you like your extreme music, go to Damnation. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, just moving on to tanking. Just obviously with the COVID thing and everything like that, we've seen your statement that you have put on your page today and you shared on Facebook.
Yeah.
I know you don't mind. You're happy to do a social distanced, a gig. But what do you think realistically the chances are that tanking's going to go ahead?
I would say probably 60-40 in favour. Now, what I'm seeing, speaking to other promoters, the bigger you are, the more unmanageable it is from a COVID perspective.
Yeah.
So the heavy hitters, they have to make a decision probably at the end of January, early February. They'll make a public statement as to the really big ones. But they've got a complete different model to us. First of all, we're only talking about 300, 350 guests.
Yeah.
Everybody else is on site. So you're looking at maybe 400 people on site total.
Okay. Right.
With the infrastructure and the artists. Now, it's a balancing act because we can do a good socially distanced event with about 50% capacity crowd.
Okay.
But then you're in loss territory. You know yourself. There's not a lot of money to be made as a promoter. If anything, we do this not to make money. We just do it because it's a giggle.
Exactly. We do it because we've never made a penny. We don't. We lose money. It's just, but we do it because we love it. We love the underground scene. So, like yourself, that's why we're in it.
And I'm one of four. And my wife Emma, she's supply chain. She looks after the contracts and everything. And she's my handbrake. Yeah. Because I'm just like a mad puppy. I just want to say, let's get the bands, let's have a party, let's do stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy who started this was a guy called Mike Hankins and his wife Jane. That's where the name comes from, tanking.
Yeah.
Tait and Hankins.
Right.
Mike's like me, he's excitable, brilliant sales guy. So, you've got two of us who are supply chain that understand logistics.
Yeah.
Understand how to run a show, understand how to do a stage. We've got Mike, who's sales and marketing, really, a really professional businessman. And we've got Jane, who's finance, and Jane's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And she's the COVID boss. So,
I find that quite weird that your finance is Jane, when my missus is called Jane and she's a finance officer. So she looks. She does the same with me. She looks after all the money, all the merch. You can't do it on your own. You do need help. You do need hands.
I mean, if you speak to the team, they'll tell you I'm quite territorial about this. And it was the team who said, "Come on, Mike, you've got to let go of some of this stuff." So, and I'm glad I did, because I'm quite headstrong when it comes to this stuff. I know what I want. I know what I want to get done.
Yeah.
But you're right. You just can't do it. You drive yourself insane.
Yeah, it is.
And I need my wife Emma just to put the brakes on and just say, "Hey, you're going over the brink. You could be losing 20 grand here if you're not careful."
Yeah.
So she's the sense. But what I will say about the tanking, and I think most promoters are the same now. There's no pay to play. We make sure every band is played. We make sure every band has got money in their pocket. We make sure that we're looked after. We've just. And it's one of the fundamental reasons we did this, James, is even though we're a private club, we wanted something that was unique for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted something where the fans could get access to the bands. They could actually meet them without having to queue for 10 hours.
Yeah.
And without paying like 500 quid for a VIP ticket. So we just said, no, flat ticket and structure. Everybody's in the same boat. Bands are generally accessible. And it's just a nice vibe. So just changing that model away from pay to play or, we'll put you on the bill, but you must sell 50 tickets. None of that shit.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep it as basic as we can. It's punk rock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen a few promoters and stuff like that knocking around the country that's what they do. They offer a band a gig and say, well, we will put you on. However, you've got to bring minimum 25 people, which, if you're an underground band, there's no chance you're going to take 25 people to a gig. Unless it's local to you, you're not taking 25 people to somewhere. It might take 2 hours drive. So it just doesn't work.
But you've got to remember, from a promoter's point of view, the outlay and the risk is with us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, so we've got to book the infrastructure, PA, engineer, crew, catering. We've got to deal with the police. We've got to deal with the safety action groups. And then you've got to deal with the managers, the agents, the band, all of that stuff. So,
you
know, it's our neck in the block. You know,
absolutely,
so I kind of get it when promoters say, you know, can you bring some sales? I get it.
Yeah.
But we've tried to avoid that model. And myself and Mike have made a real commitment to each other to say, this is the absolute threshold that we're prepared to lose on this. Well, we're not going into this with this is the amount of money we want to make.
Yeah.
It's not like
absolutely.
that. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you were saying now about that. I mean, I'm just looking at your lineup. You know, you managed to mix quality underground bands with established names. So you've got Steel Mage on there, Manchester's very own Steel Mage. You've got Footprints in the Custard. You know, obviously, you know, Footprints, absolute mad as anything. And then you look at the rest of it, Rain of Fury, amazing, Ricky Warwick, Acid Rain. So, you know, you've combined a great lineup of underground and established bands.
I think that's what people want. You know, there's no point in me putting on a super band and then having no undercard. So it's getting that balance right. But again, the team, all four of us were passionate about giving people that leg up.
Yeah.
So we tried to make sure we had a right balance of sort of heavy hitters, but also had capacity on the bill.
Yeah.
That we could just give people a leg up. Because people just want to be seen.
Yeah.
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 You take a young band like Portrait Demon who have just sort of connected with me, and I'm just like, holy shit, guys, you guys have got it going on.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, for them to get onto a bill, it's going to be extremely hard unless they've got an agent or unless they're extremely cheeky and they just work their ass off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Steel Mage did. You know, Steel Mage just wrote to me and said, hey, we're here. We love Acid Rain. You know, it would be a dream come true. And we just thought, you know what? That's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
We want bands to write to us and just say, look, yes, we've got some heavy hitters on there. But at the same time, it was super important to us that we just give bands the opportunity to play.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that balance right. And if you look at our lineup, you'll probably see that Friday is a bit more rock.
Yeah.
Rather than like sort of death grind. So we've tried to mix the Friday, Saturday and get that balance right. Now, we're not doing day tickets yet.
Right.
And it was never our intention to do that because, you know, Scruffy Bear, amazing band, amazing vocalist. It's just that Janis Joplin, Led Zeppelin sound.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to watch that?
Exactly, yeah.
And equally, why wouldn't their fans not want to watch Ash and Crown and get their face ripped off?
Absolutely.
So, you know, over the weekend, we're trying to expose you to, you know, all kinds of elements and flavors.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying we're a thrash festival or a grind festival or a blues festival. We didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you've been doing it hell of a lot longer than what I have. We always deal with just underground bands. So, you know, we've never worked with anyone of a massive size. And looking at your lineup, how easy is it to work with people like Acid Rain and Ricky Warwick? Is it easy? Is it hard work?
I guess first things first. I mean, if you're ever going to go into this, try not approach the artist directly.
Yeah.
My best advice I can give you is find out if they've got management, find out if they've got an agent, and just reach out to them first.
Yeah.
Because these are the guys who are working their ass off behind the scenes, trying to figure out tours, trying to join the dots, trying to get the best deal for the musicians. But equally, they realize that it's that relationship between agent, management, promoter that makes the world turn.
Yeah.
And you know, bands work hard and they want to be seen, but there's a whole machine behind that gets going. So once you connect in with a few good agents that you can trust, it's actually not too difficult. You know, you can reach out to them and say, I've got a date, I've got this capacity, I've got this purse. What can we do? Let's cut a deal.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, there's bands like Godfriend, a great example. You know, they're self-sufficient. They've been around the block. And they will talk to you directly.
Yeah.
And as long as you've got credibility and you're offering a secure package and you've got a standard, you know, these people are accessible. So, you know, if you want to get into promotion, I would say don't be shy. understand your expectation, understand your purse, otherwise you could end up in the red.
Yeah.
And just be clear to the artists, to the agents, and to the management companies what you're offering. So when the bands turn up, they know they're not playing to 35,000 people.
Yeah.
They're playing to 300 people, and the expectation's clear.
Yeah.
So it's you've got to be true to your word. You've got to stand by your promises. You've got to make tough decisions. You will always be the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's the
absolutely.
thing. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
You'll always be the bad guy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, it's that triangle of band management and promoter and agency, and then it gets down to who's the booker, who's the festival, who's the agent, who's the promoter. All of that stuff needs to fit together.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, the further up you get, the more that these guys have been around the block, or the girls have been around the block, they tend to be easier to work with.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, as long as you're true to them and you're not giving any BS, then there has to be that credibility and trust.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that we found, or I found, is wanting to work with slightly bigger bands, and obviously because the 0161 is a community, you know, everything goes out to the people, all the ideas go out there to them lot, and we keep getting told, don't book the bigger bands because your role is, it's strictly underground. You know, you're there for bands like Torture Demon, Steel Mage. If you start stepping up, then you start losing a little bit of why we started what we do, which I kind of don't understand that, because you've got Acid Rain, and what better way for people like Steel Mage? I mean, on a lineup with absolute thrash legends. So it's a little bit weird the way people think, I think.
I mean, you've got to remember, a band like Acid Rain want to play. You know, I mean, that's what they love to do. They love to make music, but they're a live band and they want to play.
Yeah.
They're a high energy band. You know, I mean, in terms of my security team, we're all looking at the lineup, we've gone, oh my God, you picked Acid Rain. High energy.
Carnage. Absolute carnage.
Exactly, right? So we know what we're getting into with the guys. But, I mean, they're still like me. They're still big, passionate kids. They love their music. They want to play. And as long as a promoter like me is clear with them to say, look, guys, this is what you're getting into. This is the capacity. This is what we can offer you. You know, you'll be surprised how many big bands just want to do a show like that.
Yeah.
Just to get that kick-ass buzz. And don't get me wrong, every band wants to play to 35,000 people at Bloodstock or Download.
Yeah.
Equally so, you'll get bands who just want to do a fun, real fun gig for people who are so passionate about the music.
Yeah.
And they remember where they came from. A lot of the bands we work with, they remember where they came from. They remember being in the transit van, lugging their own shit up 2 flights of stairs, you know?
Yeah.
So you treat them with respect, you know, and it's just, again, it's integrity, politeness, being clear on expectation, and agree a purse that's realistic.
Yeah.
That's not going to set your mortgage on edge. But, you know, I think a lot of people are afraid to talk to bands like Acid Rain because of who they are and their history.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to just put your hand up and say, hey, we're here. This is what we can offer.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, you know, people will come to you and say no. And I've had people who I know as friends in bands who have turned me down and just said it's just not the right buzz for us. And I respect that. And then I've been surprised. For other bands who I've approached where I thought, well, let's take a chance on them. And they've come back to me and you say, yeah, we love this punk rock atmosphere. We love this DIY atmosphere. This is where we came from. This was our roots. We're in. Yeah. So, and again, James, we want to do something that's right for me, for the team, but also for our core members. So our core members have a say on where we're looking.
Yeah.
And they tell us what they like and what they don't like, you know. And most of the core members are genuine friends as well, to be honest, you know.
Yeah.
So they've got a say in it. So we take fear from them, but also myself, Mike, Emma, Jane, we're scanning the horizon. And we've got, you know, family, friends, people like yourself who'll just give me a nudge and say, hey, look out for that band.
Yeah.
And we'll check them out, or we'll go and see them if we can go and see them when we could see bands.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's other bands in the 0161 who I'm talking to. I won't mention names, but there's bands who have played Bloodstock who I'm very keen on, and it's getting that deal right.
Yeah.
And again, there's other bands who I know very little about, but I just admire their energy, their passion.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for the 2022 lineup, I'm already in conversations with some of the guys in the 0161.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know you're not going to give anything away. I understand that. But is there any bands that you've seen, underground bands, that you've actually spotted, you know, maybe it's via the 0161 or via YouTube or somebody else, that you've actually looked at and thought, Jesus, they're amazing. I've never heard them before, but they are amazing.
I mean, I was lucky. I mean, I did management for a few years. So a lot of the bands who are getting more established now are bands who I saw when they were, you know, really low, just finding their feet. So there's bands like that which I've kept an eye on for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So to throw a name out, Shrapnel.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
love Shrapnel.
So Shrapnel, I saw them when they were really at the beginning of their career. When I was with Fallen Fate, and we were out with Onslaught, and I think it was Gamma Bomb.
Okay, yeah.
And Shrapnel were there. They were coming up. They were coming through. So there's bands like that where I've always got my eye on them and saying, okay, what are those guys doing? And that's kind of like what I did with Rain of Fury.
Yeah.
I watched Rain of Fury come up through the ranks, and I thought, okay, that's one to watch.
Yeah.
But just because I'm not knocking on your door today and saying, please, will you come and play for us, don't think that promoters are not watching you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And remember, though, we try and get a nice balance of, like you said, the bigger bands and smaller bands and the bands who are really red hot. But try not mix your drinks too much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you've got one guy who's coming to see a doom band and he's surrounded by glam rock band. It just doesn't
work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah.
So it's getting that balance right.
Yeah.
But I love the energy that's there's a lot of good music out there at the moment, and you guys, to tap into the vein of 0161, there's a hell of a lot of good music in there.
There is.
But you've also got the Leeds scene, you've got the Glasgow scene, you've got the Welsh scene.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good stuff going on in Ireland.
Yeah.
But it's just getting that balance right, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, Mike, I have to thank you for today. Thank you for sitting down and chatting with us. Just to finish it off, mate, tickets still, people can still get tickets, I'm guessing. There's still...
Well, that's a great question, okay? So there's two ways you can get tickets. You can just go to the website, the public website at www.tanking.com. There's a tickets page, and you can get tickets. Now, at the moment, you can get entry only for 2 days. You can get weekend camping, you can do 3 days, and you can get camper van.
Yeah.
We may choose to go to day release for people who want the bluesier side or the heavier side.
Yeah.
But at the moment with COVID, until the government announces what the plan is, if we can go full unrestricted, we'll probably offer day tickets. But if we have to have a limited crowd, then we'll stick to weekend tickets, because it just makes no sense to flood people, and it just causes a logistic nightmare. So yes, you can still get tickets that are available. I think if you're thinking about it, my advice to you is get on the waiting list, get on the mailing list, because we know from experience that there will be a mad dash for this.
Yeah.
The moment the government says you can travel, you can go to, even if they just say you can go to COVID-approved gigs, everybody's hungry for live music.
Absolutely.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
You know, the moment, and we could be first on the market, because we're in April, we're not moving that date at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a high risk and reward situation.
Yeah.
But all I would say to you, if you're a fan of music and you want your live music, take a chance. And let me be straight with you. Worst case, you know, if we cancel in our charity, you're losing a couple of quid on a booking fee. That's your risk.
Yeah.
You know, that's how much you're risking.
Yeah.
So take a punt or don't. It's entirely up to you.
But why would you not, when you've got Acid Rain and Footprints and Steel Mage and, you know, absolutely.
It's buyer confidence, James. It's you know, and I get it. We've got people who are on our waiting list and say we really want to come, we just don't know.
Yeah.
So people like me as a promoter with the team, you know, we're chewing our fingernails down, because you're looking at what's coming in, you're looking at what's going out, and we're just thinking, whoa, this is
Yeah.
But you know, the thought of being first to market with a weekend not festival and having live music in a controlled environment, which is an amazing scene, by the way. It's a really beautiful environment that we're in. You're not in a field, you're in a courtyard. It's really cool. But the thought of hearing that first guitar and the first drum beat live on stage. I can tell you now, that's why we're in it.
That's why I'm doing it. Well, obviously, we have discussed on Messenger and stuff like that. We're looking at hopefully going to try and get some sort of minibus, get a tour bus. Have a look. The 0161 go on tour to Tanking. Got to be done. Absolutely got to be done, mate. But thank you, Mike.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you, just as a throwaway then.
Go on then.
If you can put together a travelling party who are coming up on the Thursday night a day early, we'll do something special for the 0161, okay?
Absolutely amazing. Brilliant. Thank you, Mike. And again, thank you for sitting down.
Lovely chat, fella. Sorry,
and you, buddy. And you, mate. Take care, pal, and we'll hopefully see you in April.
Ciao, mate. Take it easy. Bye.
Cheers, pal. Thank you very much. Bye.